Welcome back to Astrology, Angels, and More. I'm your host, Mary Silvernail, and tonight we're going to have a very interesting show all about karma. And I have a very nice guest that we're going to be discussing that tonight. But first, I'd like to let you know what's happening in this month of March 2023 astrologically. So, today is March the 8th, 2023. Happy birthday, Pisces! Pisces is the 12th and final sign of the zodiac, with Neptune as the ruling planet. Pisces gemstones are turquoise, sugilite, which is a beautiful stone that also attracts love, and convolite. The color of turquoise is associated with the sign of Pisces. Pisceans are highly intuitive people, very spiritual individuals. Many possess the gift of prophetic dreaming. Almost every Piscean I have ever known has that gift. Sometimes they're completely unaware of it until they start realizing and interpreting their dreams. They're also very dreamy, imaginative, creative, sensitive, lovers of art and poetry, very sensitive people. They feel everything. I'm happy to report that this month of March, we have no retrograde planets. Isn't that wonderful? So things are really now moving in a very positive direction. Now, March 7th, which was actually yesterday, however, the effects of the Virgo full moon are still happening. This very serious full moon, and if any of you have noticed it, it has absolutely been magnificent, very bright, very bright. It was shining in my window last night, in my bedroom window. Anyway, it prompts us to find balance between practical and emotional connections, and to become attuned to working with what you feel and your intuition, to recognize your real true priorities, such as staying in an unsatisfying job or remaining in a less than ideal domestic relationship. You may be prompted at this time actually to step away from that. You will be presented with many options, and you'll find clarity and relief. Ultimately, a new opportunity will be born out of this situation for you, which will bring fulfillment and promises much pleasure. The key here is to get attuned to your intuition and trust the outcome. Now, very important, March 20th, at 5:24 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we will be experiencing the spring equinox, which is the first day of spring and the first day in the astrological sign of Aries. The ancients believed the new year began with the spring equinox. All astrological influences are magnified at that time. March 21st, very next day, Aries new moon. Besides the sun and the moon and the sign of Aries, Mercury, Jupiter, and Chiron and Vesta are also in Aries, creating a powerful stellium, bringing about inspiring growth and new beginnings. That's what this month is all about. New beginnings, bright, new, powerful beginnings. Plus, adding to this tremendous energy is the fact that it's also the equinox, when new life energies begin after the dormant winter. You'll find innovation and advancement, which has long been awaited. At the same time, paying close attention to your gut feelings is absolutely imperative. Since Neptune in Pisces is conjunct this Aries stellium, heightening your intuition. It's all about connecting with your intuition, especially this month, to create the new beginnings that you truly want and deserve. Now, empaths, though, be aware that this month the energies are truly flowing on deeper levels than usual. Gratefully, mostly harmonious. Now, if you've been feeling a surge of these energies just simply by holding some smoky quartz crystal or onyx in your hand while meditating can disperse any negativity. Then perhaps working with some rose quartz, helping you to connect back to all that is good through the pink heart energy, bringing pure love, joy, and peace. Also, I want to wish everyone a happy St. Patrick's Day this month. Erin go bragh. The English translation of Erin go bragh means Ireland forever. Whenever I think of St. Patrick's Day, I associate St. Patrick with Bridget, the dearly beloved saint of Ireland, born 450. After hearing St. Patrick speak, she devoted her life to giving whatever she had to those in need. She helped the poor with a loving and open heart, yet is also known for her extreme courage as a warrior. Very, very, very powerful. Originally, Bridget was a highly respected Celtic goddess in ancient Ireland. In the 5th century, though, she was adopted by the Catholic Church as Saint Bridget because the people in Ireland were not willing to give up their connection with their beloved goddess Bridget. So the Catholic Church adopted her as Saint Bridget. She's the combination of protector, warrior, mother, loving and healing us in her feminine ways. Bridget is the female equivalent of Archangel Michael, who protects us, lovingly guides us, and gives us the courage that we need. Whenever you feel you need courage and empowerment, just ask Archangel Michael to stand with you on your left side and Bridget to stand with you on your right side. They'll encourage and support you in all your endeavors. Many times you may possibly feel a sensation of heat from their fiery powers. Both Archangel Michael and St. Bridget are known for coming to your side instantaneously, immediately, whenever you call upon them. So this is my statue of Bridget. This is what she looks like. And as you can see, she's holding her arrow there. But sometimes she's also depicted holding a sword because she was also a warrior. And she is the keeper of the fire, the keeper of the flame. And in Ireland still today, in the County Kildare, they have a church where the flame is attended to constantly so that the fire has never gone out. Now, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce my special guest tonight, Adolphina Shephard. Welcome back, Adolphina.
Thank you, Mary. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting show.
I know. I think the last time we were together was Valentine's Day last year on your show.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
On location. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Well, now it's St. Patty's Day.
I know.
But neither one of us could wear green anyway, right? Because of the green background that actually occurs a green screen that we have that then brings up these beautiful pictures. So we can't wear green in the studio, but we're thinking about it. And St. Patrick's Day isn't here yet anyway, but it's coming.
You know what it would be like? It would be like the bottle, which you could only see the top. You'd only see our heads and our hands. Well, it would be like we were ghosts.
Yeah, what happened was Adolphina brought in a bottle of her spring water, and it was a green glass bottle and had a little red dot on the top. And Brian and I were trying to figure out in the control room what that red dot was on the screen. We didn't realize that it was Adolphina's bottle because you can't see any green. You can only see the little red dot. That was funny.
I know, that was really funny, wasn't it? Like the bottle cap was floating.
Yeah, it was funny. You know, reminded me of the, what was that? Remember that old show, Topper? Wasn't it?
Oh,
Topper.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Ghost,
with the ghosts.
Yeah.
With the ghosts. Or the ghost and Mrs. Muir or something like that, right?
Right.
And floating around.
I know.
Yeah, cool. Or the Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all we had to do was really dress completely in green and we would be the invisible women, right?
That actually might make a good show, Mary.
I know.
I think that would be fun.
I love it. But you're sharing tonight with us all about karma. We're going to be talking about karma and balancing your karma, giving you some hints about balancing your karma, understanding karma more, which can really help you in your life. And so, Adolphina, what have you been up to lately? I know you're the co-host of God's Way YTVY.
Well, you know, Mary's been on my show many times, and I've been on her show a few times too.
Right.
And so we're people recognize us together, but just so people that don't know, I'm the creator host of God's Way YTVY TV show. The spiritual viewpoint is what we like to add to that. And it's a metaphysical show and spiritual show featuring higher knowledge. So that's on everything, politics and religion, you name it, we talk about it, right?
Yes.
And but also I'm a spiritual teacher, energy psychologist, metaphysician, medium, seer, empowerment coach, and a mentor. So if anybody's looking for any of that, you know how to reach me.
Just at the end of the show, if you want more information about Adolphina, all you have to do is just contact us here at the studio. My email is at the end of the show. And you can just email me and I will forward it on to Adolphina. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful, Mary. Thank you. Well,
You're
what I've been
welcome.
up to is, you know, I had a 3-year energy school at my wellness center called Shepherd's Ark, and I had to let that go when my husband became ill with cancer, and I nursed him through that, and I dropped everything really but the TV show. So, but now it's going on 5 years. It's time for me to get back to work. God's telling me people need me. So to get back out there. So what I'm doing is I'm putting together a bunch of workshops and so forth to move forward on that. And I've put together a handful of the ones that I've been told are most important, which interestingly enough, karma is one, inner child, what else? DNA repair, implant cord removal, psychic activations, but one that I think I'm going to start with, which I think people always love this. I don't know if you've ever been on my show. We've never done it on the air, but I teach people how to meet their angels and possibly even get a hug from your angels, and teach them how to pull out their wings. And it's really quite a lot of fun, and I think people would be interested in seeing that. So I think I'm going to start with that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you did that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, because we met literally after my husband. Well, yeah, after he got sick, so I had dropped all that work, and but I really think people are starting to awaken. They need this work done so that they can assist them in the ascension process, you know, because that's the whole goal, right? The whole goal is for us to evolve, right?
And that's why we have to balance our karma.
Yes.
Right? And that's really what this show is about.
Well, you know, I learned something yesterday that has literally blown my mind about karma.
What?
Well, first of all, let's talk about the categories we work with. When I'm running karma transmutation, which, by the way, transmutation is the key word, because if you just clear it, you're going to feel it. Transmuting it goes from it being a mountain into a molehill. Okay, so the key word is transmutation. But when I do karma transmutation workshops, what I do is I'll do a series on personal, family, ancestral, world, universal, galactic, and finally cosmic. Well, guess what? I found this out about 2 people just yesterday, and it really kind of freaked me out because I didn't realize how, that you were actually had these repercussions. Because, karma is literally cause and effect, right? Cause and effect, right?
Well, we create our own karma. We have created our own karma right from the beginning of time.
Yeah.
And it follows us, and we're always balancing the scales until we balance it completely, and that's when we ascend. I mean, that's really what, that's my opinion on ascension. And I don't know. I mean, do you agree with that? Or
to a degree, but I think that ascension has even more to do with the light quotient. You have to have enough light to reach that and do that. The karma certainly assists. Oh my God, that's big,
Well, the light, though, I mean, the light is within through your actions, deeds, thoughts, your own spirituality, how many lifetimes you've been through, and that is what presents the light. Or do you disagree with that?
Well, I agree with it to a degree, but what I think that in what I taught in my energy workshops and my school for 3 years is you have your beginning, then you have your intermediate, then you have your advanced.
Okay.
And the whole first year is basically, it's almost like building a house. You're ripping down the old funky house, tearing down, taking out the icky stuff, the stuff that needs to be removed. For instance, outdated implants, karma, soul retrieval, all that kind of stuff. Spirits, you name it. It can go on the list. But meanwhile, and so you're removing the bad stuff, and then you start to build the house. Just like a house is with your foundation. You have your foundation, you lay down you have to put in the plumbing and the electric, the connections, and then you lay the foundation, and then you have to actually build the house. And so, and you want to make sure there's no holes in that house, right? So that's grid work. And and then your meridians, your DNA, and all these things that subsequently build the light body. And I mean, we have a light body. It's just, everybody does. It's just buried under decades and lifetimes of grime and goo and gook, basically, right? So once you get rid of all that, and then you build it, and then you start your advanced techniques where you're doing work on your mental, your emotional bodies, because you have to master those bodies and help them too, right?
Well, yeah, because even a thought, if you're having a negative thought towards someone, that can create karma. So even if you don't put it in action, just the thought creates it.
Right. Because it's kind of your intention in a way.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And so then you're creating it. The thing is, what karma really is just the everything right from the beginning of time, since the inception of your soul, that you have built up from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime, the good and the bad.
Yeah.
The only time now, as far as transmuting karma, and I understand what you're saying, the work that you do, okay? And I understand that, I respect that. However, what I have always found to be the strongest and most complete and best way to balance karma is through past life regression. As you know, I'm a board certified clinical hypnotherapist, and I've been doing past life regression for more than 20 years for people. And once you view in a previous lifetime what it was that had happened karmically between you and someone else, or you within yourself, whatever that was, it's done. It's absolutely done.
I know that's true, Mary, because and people that don't know about past life regression or hypnotherapy, I know that once you get to the root cause, it's gone.
It's completely
It's gone.
Right. I understand. But then you're talking about another avenue of this.
Right.
And of course, if you have done someone wrong, what you do is you balance your karma by then correcting it. And then your intention can balance that to correct it or to apologize. Or if someone has done you wrong, that's why we should love each other and keep it all balanced.
That's so true.
But now you're talking about in reference to the light body, because it is our thoughts, our actions, our deeds that actually create the light body. Because the better of a person that you are, and that is the more humble you are, the more giving you are, but never to a fault, because then that doesn't balance the karma either, even for yourself. However, once you do all those things, that's how you balance your karma. And you're talking about the light body. The light body is the collection, it's my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, of the collective of all that you have done since the beginning of time.
Right, which is why it's usually buried underground. But here's one of the things that's about building the light body. See, let's say, especially into the modern world today, because we're exposed to electronics, and that burns holes in our grid system, which is also known as the aura, okay? Your spiritual body, the aura, your grid system. So let's say you work in the office somewhere and you have a computer tower by your leg.
Right.
Well, being an aura photographer as my hobby for years, I always found holes around the legs. You find them around the ear because of the phone, the cell phones. And so all these electronics, you go through the airport and you're scanned. All these things are breaking holes in your grid system. So you cannot develop a good, strong light body with holes in there, and then those holes let negative energies in there. So the key is you have to seal it once it's cleansed, and build it, because they're like spider webs, and you want them to be like a fence, a metal fence. You want them strong so that they don't break. And then this is on all layers, because in the past with the 7 chakras, we needed to have at least a 7 grid system. Guess what? Most people have holes almost all the way through. I've seen it for years in aura photography, these things that I'm talking about, where you can actually see the holes going into their aura. So it takes many grid systems to at least have 7 strong grids. And as you know, some people are activated up to 18 chakras, which means if you are activated up to 18 chakras, you should have an 18 grid system, which then means you carry that much more light. So somebody who only has a solid 2 or 3 grid system is not going to have the same light body as someone who has an 18 light body. You see what I mean?
In my healing sessions that I do, that's what I'm doing. I'm balancing all of those things. When somebody walks in my office, and especially whether it's for a Holy Fire Karuna Reiki session or Native American healing or any of the shamanism that I do, no matter what it is, the soul retrieval, whatever it is. So I'm looking first at their aura, and not through photography or I view their aura, and I can see where there's some dark spots. But I don't call them holes. It's just I notice a little bit of negative energy, and what you want to do is actually just release that and bring in the light. So, and I know when they leave my office, that's how they walk out. But you're talking about something maybe a little bit different. As far as so tell me the difference here. Well, because when they leave, they're completely balanced. all their chakras, their whole body,
Well, Mary,
their soul.
you're a good healer. We're just using different terminology.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking you. What's the difference?
We're just using different
What's the
terminology.
difference?
You're doing intuitively things without naming them. That's what you're doing.
Well, no, I mean, these are ancient things that
Yeah.
I work
Oh, yeah.
with.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and it works. So this is what I'm asking you. What is the difference here?
Oh, well, and what I'm talking about, like what you were talking about, is okay, you see a black spot. Well, that could be a burnt out area or an injury. Like my angels show me a golden figure, which we've had that agreement, and then they show me black in an area where there's a problem. So I know immediately to go to that area, and then you clear that out. But and so now you filled them with light. But what I'm talking about with the grid system is, okay, let's say the aura is a big balloon, right? If they got holes all the way in, it has to be sealed all the way out. Otherwise, it's like a balloon that energy will just leak out. So when one of the key things is to make sure that those layers of the grids are filled. And sometimes it takes more than one session.
Well, when someone comes to see me for a healing, it's always recommended 3 sessions.
At least.
And no, 3 sessions. That's usually, what it is. And then, but what I'm saying is, yes, it is sealed. So it's just that I think we're doing the same thing, but you're doing it differently than I am. And that's all it is. But we're both doing the same thing because what I do, without going into a lot of the mysticism of Reiki or going into the depth of Native American healing, I seal that.
Yeah, okay, so
before,
you're
yes,
sealing
absolutely.
it. Yeah, okay.
So yes, there is a technique actually that I teach all, any of my Holy Fire Reiki students. Okay, that's the first thing they learn. After the healing, it's sealed, and I show them how to do it and what we do, and that's part of the mystery, And so yes, we do.
So you're calling it sealing, and I'm calling it grid repair. That's the difference. Yeah, that's it. We're doing the same thing.
That's what I'm trying to understand here.
Yeah, it's just
so
different terminology.
Okay, go ahead.
That's what it is.
So I'm good then.
And this is what happens everywhere, really. Everybody who intuitively, we've learned this stuff in past lifetimes. So we're just doing these things, and we just have different terminology.
Ancient
that's
work.
It. Yeah, it's ancient. I mean, there's nothing new under the sun. We're just relearning what we lost from centuries ago in modern medicine and so forth.
Well, I've noticed, early on in my life, with a mentor that I've had a couple of mentors. Very important. First one, really, my father. But it's really a remembrance, and I've noticed that with my students too. That when it's like a light goes on for them when they learn, because it's really just a remembrance of everything we knew. So I'm agreeing 100% with what you're saying.
Yeah.
So,
but but yeah, you're right. So I don't know how we got off of that with karma,
no,
but
we didn't. No, because that's what we're talking about.
Balancing karma.
Because any of the negative karma is creating, which in Japanese, in Reiki, what it's called is byoki. I think one time.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
Byoki. That's negative energy. It's the same thing. And what we do is we remove that and then bring in the light. So I really do feel we're talking about the same thing, just in different terminology.
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
I started to tell you about the thing I recently discovered, because this is huge, Mary. This is huge. Okay.
What?
Someone that I hold dear is having some problems, and I found out it's because he is not on his path. And that has created a huge amount of fear, because in the person's lifetime, I was told by a friend of mine, where he did not fulfill his mission in the past, it ended disastrously, his life, in some way. Hence, that fear is bubbling up because his soul knows he has stepped off the path.
I see.
And so when I was
That's-
scanning the volume of karma
Makes
that
sense.
needed to be done, it was huge. Huge. And then I start checking other people naturally, because now I want to see if the other people that I know who aren't on their path, and I'm finding, oh my God. So you know what this led me to think about? You know how we talk about, I mean, I was told years ago that some of us will be in heaven right next door to some of us who will be in hell, right? Well, these people, the ones I know, are going through really rough times that are not on their path. Now, I know that everybody goes through rough times. I've been through rough times, and I've been on my path since I was born, I think.
Part of life.
Yeah, and so it's part of life. But when it gets to be so extreme,
Yes.
it feels like punitive.
Yeah, but just really think about that. That's the karma that they created because they didn't fulfill what they were supposed to do in another lifetime, came into this lifetime, and then they're still not doing it. And so, that's karma. That's karmic.
Yeah, I know, and this is huge, because this is a reason if there's no other reason for you to get on your path, that's for karma, okay? Mary!
Because you don't want it coming back at you. That's true. And many times I feel that God, pushes us along here. Just like, remember what happened with you and I when we had the broken foot? Okay, at the same time.
Yeah.
You had a broken foot, I had a broken foot. And both of us, we realized that God was giving us a little bit of time there, a lull in our lives, to realize what was next. You know what I'm saying? So I see, because you get signs from the universe, but if you're talking about this person not accepting those signs or waking them up enough, then bad things keep happening many times until you wake up and you realize.
Well,
and only you can change it. Only you
here's the
yourself
sad
can change
part.
it.
Here's the really sad part. He was on his path.
Oh.
Until his wife told him, "Oh, you're hearing voices. You're channeling. You're schizophrenic." Because so he got off of his path, and I had told him so many times, never let anybody keep you from your path.
No.
Never, 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 never. And so anyway, a big shock to me, all this. But the amount of karma was something. And I realized why it's punitive? Because, okay, here we have life. Life is a tapestry, and we each have a thread. Or let's say it another way. Life is a puzzle, and we each have a puzzle piece, okay? And that puzzle piece that you said you do for God, you're not performing. Bingo! Mm-hmm. So now somebody else had to step up and take the job that was not being done by this person. And it was a big job, and he was trusted with it, and he did not do it.
I see.
So, you see, you folks out there, do you know you have a mission, that you're a puzzle piece of the puzzle?
Every soul has a purpose here on earth, and that purpose is assigned when you are born and you come into this life.
Yeah, I think you
It is
actually,
assigned.
I think
bring
you
it
actually bring it in with you. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But at the moment of your birth is when it begins, that the countdown begins, that you fulfill it. And you are guided to do so. Absolutely, you're guided to do so. Have you ever noticed, sometimes people come to me, they tell me, I don't understand. I have this yearning, this hunger to read all these spiritual books, these metaphysical books. And that's because God's speaking to you. God wants you to find your way on your spiritual journey. So, you need to really heed that. Or if you keep getting signs, such as what you were saying happened here. Right?
Oh my God,
yeah. But it's never too late.
It's never too late, right. So we're trying to get that rectified through a variety of techniques and on several different levels and so forth. And Mary's going to help too, do a past life regression. But these are things that are key. Now, it's funny too, because there's another level of karma that I also recently added to my repertoire, and that is past life. Okay, now that should fall into family and ancestral and so forth. But you know what? I don't know, it's kind of like something a little different, which I haven't figured out exactly what makes the difference, but it's different. And so that's something else. But I don't know how much time that's going to do that when you have all these other big categories that to have to do. You know what I mean? And so I've never seen, though, anybody with not as much karma in all of them, in the personal, family, ancestral, world, universe, galactic, then to have a huge volume of cosmic karma, negative cosmic karma. Thank God I was told I came in with 5 lifetimes of positive karma. I said, oh my God, thank God, who needs that, right?
Well, yeah, but you earned that from those previous lifetimes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And isn't really, I mean, when you get down to it, the whole purpose of us being here is to balance our karma from the other lifetimes and to create such good karma so that we then are perfection, so that then we can ascend. And such as the ascended masters, that's how they ascended. You know, they had total balanced karma and they were able to ascend, such as Jesus. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's a big piece of the puzzle, karma. I mean, most people need 30 sessions to completely wipe out their karma. 30. And when you work out all the levels, if you do a 5-minute, if you run a session and there's an hour, and you do someone personal, 5 minutes on personal, 5 minutes on family, 5 minutes on ancestral, galactic, most people have tons and tons of karma, and they don't know it. But then you have the people who don't believe in it, and then of course they're not going to work on it.
Wow. Okay, I can tell you that in one session of past life regression, it can balance a tremendous amount. Is
that right, Mary? Well, that's good news. That's good news.
You know that.
Well, no, you know what I mean? I know what a race is, and I know you've done a couple of past life regressions.
Yeah, I don't think I ever did a soul retrieval for you, did I?
No, but I do soul retrieval. Yeah. So that's no biggie. But and soul retrieval, by the way, is key because through your many lifetimes, if you have traumas or whatever, you lose pieces to trauma, and your soul aspects, you merge with them as you start to ascend, and so forth until you're one. And so that is key. And anyway, where were we going with the karma? Because there was something I wanted to say, I forgot.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, the past life regression. So, you know, and one time, Mary, you took me to the future. Do you remember that?
Yes.
That was fun.
That's what I do in my sessions. I offer the opportunity that if a person, and I have to really see whether or not that person can handle going into the future. You know, there's some people that can't. So then we just do the past life regression, but I do offer that as an option, 5 years and 10 years down the road. And that's amazing, isn't it?
We might have to do 5-10 years down the road.
Amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Yeah. But you know, so there's other ways too to balance your karma, such as with the violet flame, Saint Germain. On my show here, I've discussed that many times, especially if you watch the Ascended Masters show of Astrology, Angels, and More. My guest and I were talking a lot about Saint Germain and the violet flame. And that is something that balances it, that you can do yourself. And it really works beautifully.
There is an invocation for that, isn't there?
Yes,
somewhere
there
that's
is.
quite famous.
Yes,
do you remember what it's called?
Elizabeth Clare Prophet actually is the creator of that. And what it is, it's a mantra that you repeat and you repeat and you repeat. Yeah.
I have a card with that somewhere.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen it many times over the years.
I did it on this show, and actually a couple of times. But the Ascended Master show, it will explain a lot about that, and I actually did a demonstration of it, and it was absolutely beautiful. And people have come back and told me how amazed they were because it was such a release for them. of the negative things that had been haunting them.
Ha.
Yeah. So and Saint Germain does that. Absolutely amazing. And if you don't have an understanding of the ascended masters, which Jesus is an ascended master, one of the ascended masters, you should really get a good understanding of them so that you can understand how they can help you. So the other thing that I wanted to talk with you about, Adolphina, okay, is as far as the collective karma, okay, which that happens, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
World karma. Yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
You bet. You know, Mary, I got to ask you something. First, look.
What?
I want to ask you a question about that because this is news to me, where Mary said that when you get past life regression, it clears the karma, right? So, you mean to tell me when you regressed me, when I went looking for my twin flame, that it cleared the karma from those lifetimes?
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did. That. See,
I thought you realized that.
I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. Well, then I made you very, very happy.
Thank you, Mary.
Okay.
I didn't know that. No, truly, you just taught me something. I didn't know that.
I'm glad. I'm happy to help. But yeah, absolutely. You know, I got to say, because a lot of times people come to me, you know, sometimes there's a phobia that a person can't, you know, we can't get to the root of it in this lifetime, so it was really in a previous lifetime. We'll do past life regression to eliminate it. But many times it's relationship issues, usually between a man and a woman, but it could be between a woman and her mother-in-law, for goodness sake, or something, you know, or a man with his boss, and can't understand why you can't balance that karma so that it would be a smoother relationship. And what it is when you actually see the interaction in your previous life with that soul, okay, it just completely eliminates it. Didn't you feel that way?
Mary, I was too busy crying.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, now that's not a bad thing.
No, it wasn't a bad thing.
You were releasing the energy from that lifetime. That's
yes,
all.
That's all. Yeah.
That's all it was. You know.
Clearings.
Yeah.
Clearings.
And then you have a really good understanding of how to proceed. Yeah, and that was a clearing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But that was very interesting. I didn't know that, Mary.
Yeah.
This is wonderful news, really, because that means when I bring the person for you to regress, that it will clear some of that karma.
Yes.
Which there's tremendous amount, so it needs it.
Yeah, especially if we specifically pinpoint that lifetime.
Yeah.
Where it occurred. Okay, whether it was the last lifetime or which lifetime. But see, the higher self will bring you automatically
exactly what you need to know. Right, right.
Yes, your higher self knows.
Of course.
And within the recesses of your mind is every memory right from the beginning of time. Right from the beginning of time. Yeah, it's true. But what we were talking about, I'd like to cover a little bit about the collective. Okay, karma. Because of the way I view collective karma is like if there's, you know, a war, say.
Yeah.
And we have all the soldiers against the other soldiers, and karmic things happen if one shoots another in the, you know, by just being a soldier and doing their job, and you know. Okay. But still, that creates a karma that's going on there between all of those souls, all those people.
Yeah.
Did you ever think about that?
Yeah, I'd like to just actually do a little check on that, Mary. I'm going to do a little scan, okay? Show me the collective negative karma that needs to be cleared. I probably will be doing this for an hour. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, usually the way I show it easiest is when I get up and walk around the room. There have been times I've walked around houses, up and down the steps with the amount. Okay, it's petering down now. That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit that needs to be cleared out.
Well, I want to clarify something, though. It's really important that I do. So, if the intention was a good intention that you're fighting for your country, okay?
Yeah.
And it was part of that karma, as long as you realize that and acknowledge that, then it's completely cleared, automatically cleared. However, it creates a collective. And the collective, not for the individual can clear that karma individually, but the karma that exists within that is called the collective karma. And so then when you think about the earth and what we've been experiencing here, which you brought up before, okay, look at the collective karma that has been accumulated here on earth. You see what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? When I get the group together, which I'm working on that, I've started on that, and we start doing our group thing, we'll work on that, because it's really too much for one person to do. I mean, you could do a little bit every day, but it would probably be exhausting, and you'd be clearing icky stuff. So it'd probably be best to do it as a group. And we really need to work on that. Healers out there, light workers out there that have your groups, do karma transmutation on the collective consciousness. That would be very helpful. To help with the chaos that is being throughout the world, and also to calm down things. Well, remember, transmute.
Well, transmute is really too also with the violet flame.
Yeah,
you can transmute karma. There's so many ways to do it. That's why I absolutely love Bridget, because she's a warrior. And you have spiritual warriors that move to the other side. I know you're one also, and so am I. And many of our friends that we have also do that on a nightly basis. And that is also that being a spiritual warrior, what it is transmuting on the other side. However, it's not an easy task to do, is it?
Oh, God, no. And I mean, there's other work that's being done that we can't even conceive of, but I'll give you an example, such as repairing the matrix, closing holes, repairing portals, all these things that we do at night we don't even remember. Well,
sometimes I wake up remembering.
Yeah, sometimes I do too. Sometimes I do too, but most of the time I forget.
Okay. But it's also karma is also dimensional.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see, you're in agreement with me about that.
Oh my God, that's a good point.
So you're glad that I brought that up,
I'm so glad you brought that up, Mary, because every time you go up another level, now you've incurred the karma in that level, if you have any, whether good or bad. So now it opens up karma you previously may have been clear of, right? So now you go into another space. Bingo, Mary. Bingo.
Oh, so, I mean, even if you don't believe in karma, if you don't believe in it, and everybody always thinks bad karma, there's a lot of good karma. The more good deeds you do, the more love you show others, and it could be the smallest thing, like just saying someone's hair looks pretty today, okay? Or noticing that if you're married, your husband did the dishes, or something very minor. Anything positive that you can send out there and do and say, that balances your karma. The more good you put out there and the more love you show your fellow man and for yourself, because karma also has to do individually. So if you're just constantly giving and you're not also giving to yourself, you're not balancing good karma, because then it's out of balance. Everything needs to be in balance, yin yang. That's the ultimate, to be in balance. Adolphina, we're going to be wrapping up pretty soon. Please tell us anything else you'd like to add.
Well, now, let's see. What would I like to add? Okay. I think that it's important for any of the healers out there to be doing karma transmutation, inner child work, DNA repair, let's see, soul retrieval. These are sessions that for the most part need more than one. And so that's why it's key to get started on that stuff. And I know I have more. Let me take a little cheat sheet at my cheat sheet.
Okay.
Let me take a little peek at my cheat sheet. Well.
And then after you look at that,
Yeah.
then there's something that I wanted to mention.
Okay.
Okay. Well, there's something that I wanted to talk about here. The difference between fate and destiny.
Oh boy, that's a good one.
Yeah, because lots of times people think that things are out of their control, right? So, I have this here, fate versus destiny. Fate refers to predetermined course of events that is inevitable, whereas destiny refers to a predetermined course of events that can be shaped by an individual. And isn't that true? We can shape it. And so therefore we can create our destiny instead of going around thinking that fate has just got me, and this is how it's always going to be. We can create the change. There's 3 different points here. So then fate is believed to be inevitable and cannot be changed, whereas destiny can be changed by the individual.
Well, I agree with that. You can change your future. Remember, we're co-creators with God. We have a spark of God in each one of us, and therefore we can create. So we can change things, to our favor. You just have to work at it, be positive at it, have positive intentions, and don't ever think you can fail.
Absolutely.
The
power of positive thinking.
Yeah.
And fate is often associated with negative connotations and tends to give rise to pessimistic views, which you were saying about never think you fail, whereas destiny is not associated with negative connotations and gives rise to optimistic views, which is exactly what you just said. So don't be a victim of fate.
Be a victor. Be a victor
of destiny.
Yes, be a victor
of destiny. Today is National Women's Day.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Were you aware of that?
Yes, I posted today. Happy Women's Day to all the queens, the princesses, the fairies, and the warriors. And aren't we just awesome? And we are. Happy Women's Day.
Happy
and to
Women's
you.
Day. And may we be strong women, know strong women, empower strong women, raise strong women. Because right now, this is not leaving the guys out or anything, but there is a tremendous energy of the feminine right now. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
This is what is happening. The feminine energy is extreme at this point, and men are also experiencing this. This is why men are becoming less domineering as they had been maybe 100 years ago or whatever. I mean, I'm not putting down anything about men. I'm just telling you that the way that the universe is right now is really emphasizing the feminine.
Well, yeah, because centuries ago, the women ruled, then it turned over to the men, and neither one did a wonderful job, and so God is now bringing it into balance because you got a being that's been split in half, a male half and a female half, and so we have to be balanced. So the male-woman energies are coming together as well as the people. and
Yes,
the twin flames.
Yes, and the balance.
Yeah, for the balance.
It's all about balance, yin yang. And with that, we're going to be wrapping up. Adolphina, thank you so much for coming tonight. It was a very interesting show, and it really went fast.
It always does go fast. And Mary, and thank you for having me, because you know when we get on a tear, we really get on a tear.
We get on a tear. I feel the topic tonight was very interesting between us. Do we have any time left, Brian? One minute. We have to
Okay, so we
wrap
have
it
1
up.
minute.
So look, I would like to send some beautiful, beautiful blessings out there to all of you. And as Adolphina was saying before, realize that the light of God is within you, and you can change any situation. All you have to do is put your mind to it and your heart in it.
And follow your intuition, because that's the spark of God guiding you.
Absolutely.
Follow your intuition.
And watch the signs, the synchronicities that come up. Signs will come and guide you.
That's the truth. Thank you
so
you, Mary.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Brian.
We love you. Bless you.
Many, 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 many bright blessings. And you can watch our show on Sunday evenings at 7:30, CTV, channel 75 Spectrum, and 35.
35.
Thank you, Adolphina. And channel 35 Bios.
Yes, because we're on the
Thank
same
you.
channel,
Yes,
so we remember.
Are.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Different nights, but the same channel.
Right.
And also on YouTube.
Right.
Please view our shows on YouTube. You can find them under Astrology, Angels, and More. And also you can find them under God's Way YTVY. And that's Tommy and Adolphina's show. So thank you so much, and I hope that you enjoyed the show, and many blessings, and keep that intuition. Trust it. Just trust it. Trust those gut feelings. Many blessings. Bye-bye.